Hello, this is KeithUAPC, and welcome to yet another Hearthstone Arena run with commentary by yours truly, KeithUAPC. Now, the Hearthstone constructed ladder season is reset with beta season 2 now underway, and I'm hoping that with that reset, all my luck in the arena will also reset, so to speak. I can do a little bit better this time around than my couple previous efforts. And so, with that said, I think I'm going to pick Warrior, even though I haven't done Warlock yet. Warrior's just a class I'm very comfortable with. I find their weapons really let them shape the mid game. So I'm going to be a Warrior because I want to win, and Warrior's kind of one of my go-to classes. Urgent Commander, that's another mid game shaping thing. Okay, interesting choice here between the Kokron Elite and the Arathi Weaponsmith. I'm not very fond of card draw in general, so I'm not really thinking about the Battle Rage. I'll probably be happy to pick one of those up at some point in the draft, but usually as an alternative to a much weaker card. Now, the Weaponsmith and the Kokron Elite, of the two, I have to say that I like the Weaponsmith more. If this was later in the draft and I already had quite a few weapons handy, I would lean towards the Kokron Elite because you only need so many weapons, but in general, as I said, if it were later in the draft, I might lean the other way. But however, this time, the other card is the Silverhand Knight, which is a card I'm pretty fond of. To be honest, I think I might actually take the Silverhand Knight here. Kokron Elite is pretty good, and so is Arathi Weaponsmith, but I find my 5-drops are usually one of the weaker points. I find it hard to get good 5-drops a lot of the time. I usually want a couple of them. Cult Master is a fine card, but Chill and Yeti's the cornerstone of any good deck in my opinion, so I always grab my Chill and Yetis. Slam is a great removal card a lot of the time. You don't actually use it to kill something, you just use it to bring something into range for one of your other minions to trade with it, and it draws you a card if you use it that way. So it's like it doesn't even cost a card, it's your deck, helps you find the good stuff. I'm a Slam fan. Priestess of Elune, definitely not a very good card. She's pretty overcosted compared to like the 4-drops. They're also 4/5s. Basically, you're spending 2 extra mana to gain 4 health to your hero, which is really not that strong. So I'll definitely be taking the Ascension Shieldmaster. Another Priestess of Elune, also an Ogre Magi versus the Amani Berserker. I've got a few good 4-drops already, so I'm definitely thinking about taking the Berserker. He's one of my preferred 2-drops. I'm happy to see him. The Stormwind Champion and the Corehound, they're both okay. I think I slightly prefer the Stormwind Champion. Main reason is that if you already have cards on the board, then he has an immediate effect the turn you play him, whereas the Corehound won't do anything the turn you play him unless you will happen to have a Warsong Commander on the field. I'm a big fan of Commanding Shout. It usually gets pretty good value. It draws you a card, and hopefully it lets one or more of your minions kill enemy minions without dying. It can be really good. The Frothing Berserker is a very good card. I think I like him more than the Injured Blade Master, really. The Injured Blade Master, having only 3 health, can be a pretty big drawback. He tends to get eaten up by a lot of the 3-2 turn 2 plays people will make. Whereas the Frothing Berserker can be a lot harder for people to kill. There's nothing wrong with Gadgets and Auctioneer, but I just don't really like him that much a lot of the time. He's kind of inconsistent, I find, and if you're behind the game, you know, in the empty board situation, you don't want to be playing him on an empty board on turn 5. He's not going to help you get back into the game that way. Grab a second Berserker here. Berserker pretty good in warrior decks usually if you've got ways to do damage to them. Execute, I don't really like Execute as much as I think I probably should, and I like Abusive Sergeant more than I should. And that said, there's another Berserker who might actually just be the pick here. There's nothing wrong with loading up on those 2-drop minions, although you only need so many money Berserkers. I think I'll just grab the Abusive Sergeant here. I don't know, he kind of sucks as a 1-drop against any of the decks that can just ping him, you know, Mage, Rogue, or Druid, but despite that, his Battle Cry can really help things trade more efficiently later on, and he's not terrible as a 1-drop. Arcanite Reaper I don't really like that much compared to the other 3-drop weapon. The Boulderfist Ogre is a really solid late game card. I'm pretty inclined to grab one up. That said, the Reaper is pretty strong. The only problem with the Reaper is in the games where the opponent's got a really strong early game and you lose too much life early game, you're not really able to afford it in the mid game. But if you do alright in the early game, it can really let you dominate the mid game. I'm just going to grow with the minion here. I think this is probably a poor pick. I think most people would grab the Reaper instead, but today I feel like grabbing my big dumb minion guy. Second Silverhand Knight. Don't really want either of these 6 drops since I already have a couple 6 drops. Rather focus more on 5 drops. Slam, as much as I love it, I gotta say that second Chilled Yeti is what I want here. Now again, Execute, which I don't like as much as I should. Deer-Throwing Farseer is very tempting, especially when I have so many guys with high toughness already that can actually, or heal Battle Cry, might actually be relevant to use on a minion. My high end's looking pretty good. I think I'll take the Jungle Panther here. There's nothing wrong with Heroic Strike, but I'd rather have a reasonable minion, and Jungle Panther is a pretty reasonable minion. He's good at trading. So Battle Rage is a card I said I want one of at some point, but Battle Rage versus a Slam, I gotta feel that I want the Slam here. I really just don't like card draw cards that do nothing to the board. Slam it's not really a card draw, it gets you one more card, but it does something to the board in the meantime. Or just straight up kills something. Whirlwind versus Kokron Elite. Whirlwind is pretty good. It can be a huge blowout at times, but just a bit inconsistent. I think the Elite has got the consistency I want. I grab the Knife Juggler here. Obviously, Warriors have no secrets. This Golem card is a mediocre card. Usually you'll play it on turn 8, 9, or 10, and it's like a pretend Arching Commander for less mana that lets you do something else the same turn. But Knife Juggler, just a solid 2-drop. So I could grab another 1-drop. Argent Squire is one of the reasonable 1-drops. Him, Leper Gnome, Abusive Sergeant, Organ Infiltrator. They're all good. I already have a ton of Amani Berserkers. Actually, only 2. I thought I had 3. I guess I passed on taking one of them, pick something instead. Don't really want a second Kokron Elite. I've already got a ton of good 4-drops. I think I just want to round out my 2-drops more than anything. I've got, what, 3 2-drops and 1 1-drop? Yeah, I'll go for the 2-drop. 1-drops are important too, but I first want to make sure that I've got my 2-drops under control. Here I'll be taking the Warsong Commander. She's a pretty fantastic card. If you can keep one on the board, then you pretty much win the game, just because you can keep charging minions out of your hand to continually trade favorably with the opponent. It's looking like I still don't have any weapons. There were a couple that I passed on. The only weapon I took so far has been the Arathi Weaponsmith, and I passed on another Arathi Weaponsmith and a Arcanite Reaper. So the Spiteful Smith, not looking back great. Kokron Elite, fine card, but as I said, I really want to make sure that I'm always having 2-drops. So the Fairy Dragon. Here's a Fiery War Axe. I have to pick it over Harvest Golem. Bit unfortunate because Harvest Golem is pretty awesome. I think he's my favorite common, non-class specific 3-drop, but Fiery War Axe is pretty important. My choice of 5-drops. The Darkscale Healer's pretty reasonable. I'm not too sure about this pick actually. Definitely not taking the Booty Bay Bodyguard. It's either the Fen Creeper or the Darkscale Healer. I think I might actually go with the Darkscale Healer. There's nothing wrong with Fen Creeper though. He's pretty good as well, but the Darkscale Healer might be able to heal out my Yetis or whatever. An Ooze, pretty good, but I already have a comfortable amount of 2-drops, so the Fire War Axe is going to be my pick. Now, the Cult Master or the Tiger. Definitely not going for charge, it's just not very good in general. I don't have a lot of swarmy type minions to make Cult Master really valuable. The cards that when you play them they battle by another minion, like Silverhand Knight is one of them, for instance. He's my favorite one of them. The Tiger is, I think, the pick here, mainly because he can be good at finishing opponents off. You can just play him, he's stealthed, and then he'll contribute to lethal next turn. There's not a lot they can do about it unless they've got taunt. A third War Axe or a cleave. You only need so many war axes. I think 3 is okay. More than 3 would be pushing it though. If you just keep taking them over and over and over, you end up with more weapons than you can possibly use, and they just become dead cards in your hand, which is not what you want. I might just grab the Inner Rage here. It can be really lousy removal on the opponent's guys. I've already got 3 Amani Berserkers. If you use it on them, they become 7/2s, which is pretty strong. That's the reason I'm going to grab it. And my last pick is either a Frothing Berserker or an Imp Master. Not a big fan of Upgrade in general. Of the two, I think I like Berserker just a tiny bit more. The Imp Master synergizes nicely with the card I didn't take, the 4/2, what do you call it? The Cult Master, which I ended up not picking. The Berserker is just a pretty strong card. He doesn't, of the 3 drops, he consistently 2-for-1s more than most other 3 drops. And if your 3 drop can 2-for-1, you're laughing. So that's why I'm going to pick him up. A reasonable deck with a reasonable curve. Only having 1/1 drop kind of sucks. Maybe I should have picked the 1/1 Divine Shield guy into whatever 2 drop I picked over him. I think it was an Amani Berserker maybe. But that said, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. The top end of my curve falls down nicely. The 2 drops are a bit skewed just because I ended up getting a lot of Fiery War Axes later on, but there's nothing wrong with having a bunch of 2 drops if they're Fiery War Axes plus minions, because a lot of the time you don't just want to play your Fiery War Axes on turn 2 anyway, unless the opponent coined into a 2 drop on their first turn and you want to kill it, which is fairly common. I don't feel too bad about not taking up that the Arcanite Reaper either, because I did end up with a lot of Fiery War Axes. And if I had another weapon, that probably would have been too many weapons. Start things off with the Warrior Mirror match. No 2 drops is a bit unfortunate. I'll keep the Frothing Berserker, but I definitely want to see a 2 drop somewhere. 2 drop minion, preferably. Or even 2 of them, so I can coin into 1. Unfortunately, no 2 drops. Maybe I shouldn't have held on to the Berserker, but it's risky when you don't hold on to your 3 drop, just because you may end up with no plays at all. Looks like I'll either be playing the Fire War Axe or coining into the Berserker, depending on what my opponent does. Probably, no, he's armoring up. That means I'm just gonna coin into the minion. Well, I could just play the Berserker. Since I've got Inner Rage, just playing the Amani Berserker might be the right play. I guess I'll do it, but I won't like it. It may very well have been better just to coin into the Frothing Berserker there. Frothing Berserker is just so strong. Oh, the Shield Slam. That was unexpected. It's kind of good though, because I actually dealt 4 damage. It would have killed my Frothing Berserker just the same as my other guy I played, so I'm happy I did it this way, because this removal would have worked on my Frothing Berserker. One thing I was worried about was just that Fiery War Axe can kill that Amani Berserker guy. So he silences my guy. That's slightly unfortunate, but I do have a Fiery War Axe out. I would have liked to kill it with the Weaponsmith's weapon, but it only does 2 damage, not quite enough. So I'm taking some damage. I'm falling behind in the life game. My opponent's at 32 to my 26, but as far as board control goes, I'm doing fairly well for myself, which is what you want. That board control more important than life. Okay, looks like he's gonna eat. Not sure which one he's gonna eat up. If I were him, I'd probably eat the 2/3, but he's gonna eat the 2/4 instead. Oh, does he have... It looked like he was going to attack. Really, he attacks by 5/2? That just enrages it. I'm not sure about that. I assume he's got an execute for it next turn. This turn my play is a bit awkward. I might... Let's see... cards. I kind of need to attack it with my weapon just to get rid of it. I don't want my Fiery War Axe anymore. So I can either replay Fiery War Axe, summon Earthen Ring Shaman, and heal my guy back up, or I can just drop the Weaponsmith. And of the two, they're really pretty similar. But I'm gonna heal my guy. That's right, I'm healing my Enraged Amani Berserker. I make no sense at all. If my opponent wants to damage it for some reason, that makes me want to heal it for some reason. I'm just argumentative. You want to do damage? Fine, I'll heal it. I don't know why you want to do a damage. Maybe he's got Cleave, maybe he's got Execute. I don't know. But now those things don't work on my Amani Berserker.
Handle it.
Okay, the Chillin' Yeti, good draw. Well, I guess here I don't know, I could enrage my guy and make him go to the face, or I could just how strong is he? He's what, 7? That's a lot of damage. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to enrage my guy with my enrage card. I'm going to do it the old fashioned way by whacking a minion. I still got this coin in my hand that I've never really been able to use. It's always embarrassing when you never end up using your coin. I think I'm at the point where I'm not really going to be able to. Well, he had another Fiery War Axe. This is kind of what I meant by you only want so many Fiery War Axes. I guess obviously I have to run the... Well, no, I could use my weapon and Enrage to kill that, but that doesn't seem that probable. My weapon is going to kill this guy. I could Enrage my 3-2, but then he would be in cleave range, and that's just kind of awkward. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Drop the Weaponsmith. I've already attacked with the weapon this turn, so I can't smack him with my weapon again. I'm in a reasonably good spot though. Just with weapon damage, I almost have enough to close this game out, unless he keeps armoring up over and over and over, while also managing to kill my board. So there's that Execute. Kind of thought he had, just because of him damaging my guy a lot earlier. I don't quite have lethal, not even with the Warsong Commander. I do. Although I guess I got Slam, don't I? With Slam, I got 9, 12, 14. Yeah, I've got lethal. Slam that guy. I enrage something that isn't a Yeti. And I go to the face. I'm one short, but that's where the Fiery War Axe comes in. Obviously, he had no cards left in his hand. I mean, if I miss lethal there, it would have been pretty much assured next turn. But it's always good to not miss your lethal when you got it. Game number 1, not too much of a problem. My deck worked pretty well. My opponent made some weird plays though with that, the boar charging into my Berserker that enraged it for me. That was strange. That boar in general, he's not one of the acceptably good 1-drops. I listed off the 1-drops that are okay, he's not one of them. Neither's that Elven Archer. They're pretty bad. And also pretty similar. Well, don't think I'll keep the Warsong Commander. She's a good card, but I don't really want her in this opening hand. Even the Kokron Elite I'm going to ditch. Keep the Axe. I want to see some better early minions here. Yeah, the Yeti's good, the Berserker's good. Okay, this is kind of what I wanted. probably going to coin into the Berserker, but when you're playing against a warrior, you can pretty much count on them Fiery War Axing you. It almost never works when you try and coin into your 2-drop. They just say, oh, Fiery War Axe. Alternatively, I could just save the coin for maybe a turn 3 Chill and Yeti. That might be a better play. See what I draw, it might influence my decision. So I've got an Earthring Farseer as an alternative turn 3 play, which does sway me towards being greedy and trying to coin out Berserker. Alright, I'll do it. It's disastrous if my opponent has a Fire War Axe, and not only that, because my follow-up play is my own Fire War Axe, and then if he Acidic Swamp oozes my own Fire War Axe, then I've pretty much lost myself this game. But with the Inner Rage in hand, it really makes me want to do it, because I can Fire War Axe to kill his 2-drop, then Inner Rage my guy, and do a ton of damage, and if he doesn't have an answer for him his next turn, even more damage. The Berserker may single-handedly do 14 points of damage, potentially. Well, not single-handedly, with the help of Inner Rage and a Fire War Axe. Okay, interesting. So that makes me not really want to throw the Inner Rage on my guy. I mean, 5 more damage is nice, but I don't want to throw away my minion. Let's play the Fire War Axe, which is risky. I'm not sure if I recommend it in general. It's really probably not worth the risk now that I think about it. It's because if you lose it, it's catastrophic, and playing it early doesn't really gain you much. The reward is very small, and the risk, I mean, it's not that likely that it'll get oozed, but if it does happen, it's pretty catastrophic. So for that reason, it's really not worth it. I mean, obviously it might pay out nicely here, but that doesn't change the fact that the risk is just really big.
For the crusade!
Okay, Crusader. I've got an Inner Rage to pop the Divine Shield with that. It's not really great value, but it's better than nothing, I guess. At least I can kill it. Let's see if he wants to leave this guy stealthed or not. I kind of hope that he runs him into the Mind Berserker. Looks like he's not going to. Alright, so unfortunately I cannot coin into my Yeti since I used my coin earlier. I guess I have to remove his 3-1. His 3-1 gets pretty good value. He trades for one of my cards, plus some Fiery War Axe durability, plus 3 damage to me. That's reasonable. 3 damage to me though goes away just because that was my own turn 3 play was that guy, and he would have had nothing to heal. Unfortunately, I don't really have any ways to deal with Stealth 2-1 guys in my deck. I've got no Mad Bombers, no Whirlwinds, no Cleaves. That 2-1 can stay stealthed until the end of the game. There's not really a lot I can do about it. Trading with Harvest Golems is something that in general I'm not very fond of doing. But this may be an exception to my rule. Jump the Yeti. I almost don't even want to attack any of his stuff. If he plays like a Cult Master, I'll really regret it. Or even, yeah, I guess I gotta do it, don't I? Sure, my guy's enraged now, but he's a free kill. May or may not play the Tiger on my turn 5 play. I kind of like playing the Weaponsmith just because it gives me that weapon for the right away 2 damage. Depends if there's anything that I'll want to hit with 2 damage. So my poor Berserker dies to the stealthed guy. There's not really anything I need to do 2 damage to here, so looks like it's just going to be the Tiger. The Yeti can eat the Drake. The Drake obviously drew him a card, so it's like it didn't cost him a card, just cost him some board presence. Alright, that's gonna die. You're not gonna let that, I'm not gonna let that stay on the board. Just a question of how I'm gonna kill it. Depending on what I draw, I might just play the War Axe, and if I draw a minion, I might play the minion. Obviously Fire Axe plus Weaponsmith is a non-bow. I'm not too sure about him dropping the commander. I think that he may have been better off saving it, because he's not going to get much use out of it here. Killing my Yeti, I assume that's what he's going to get out of it.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Okay, he buffs it up. Now it's out of range of my War Axe, but into range of my Urgent Commander. So Urgent Commander it will be. He's in a pretty rough spot here. He needs something. Molten Giant might be the ticket. Except I do have lethal. So I've got lethal. I've got a total of what, 15 damage, counting my Fiery War Axe. So even if he armors up, I've still got lethal. That was, I'm not too sure if he realized his position. He kind of needs to armor up there. It wouldn't have helped him because I had the War Axe in hand, but he still should have done it. And just hoped that I didn't have any extra damage. He kind of just let me have lethal on board. You should never let your opponent have lethal on board if there's something you can do about it. Things going pretty well so far. I'm starting to feel that maybe I can get more than 3 wins in an arena run. Maybe my average wins really is 7+. Those bad runs, let me tell you, they were really shaking my morale. Some of them were just honestly bad drafts, though. I feel a lot better about this draft than I do about some of my other drafts. Pretty reasonable hand, I think. Ditch the Stormwind Champion, he's honestly not something you want to see in your opening hand. Maybe I should have ditched the Kokron Elite too, just hope to get a 3-drop instead.
The light protects me.
Go ahead and coin into the Berserker here. Put some fear into him. Might slam off his Divine Shield if he attacks me with his guy. Well, unfortunately, he's backstabbing me. That's okay. The Knife Juggler. Well, unfortunately, his weapon plus his guy could trade with Knife Juggler, so I'd rather just drop the Fiery War Axe on his 1/1, which is not the best use of Fiery War Axes in the world, but hey. I don't want my Knife Juggler just to be killed by a stupid 1/1 and a rogue weapon. That's not value. That's the antithesis of value. That's waste. Having the Fire War Axe always makes them feel a bit awkward too. He's like, well, I can play a minion, but then he'll just kill it. Well, if you're going to play a minion the opponent's just going to kill, Harvest Golem is one of the better ones to play. So my Fire War Axe does not get a whole lot of value this game. Actually, I need to not be stupid and play the Frothing Berserker before I kill his guy to get the extra attack bonus. And here's, I think, one of the first chances for Frothing Berserker to prove himself. I said he was hard to deal with. Is it going to prove true? Can my opponent deal with the Frothing Berserker? He does have the cheating Harvest Golem. Did not get the most value from my Fire War Axe, did I? Killed half of a 1-drop and half of a 3-drop with it. Okay, Sea Frothing Berserker, he did okay. He did some damage to the opponent, 3 damage to the opponent, used one of his weapon charges, etc, etc. Well, the Corcoran Elite is a bit awkward because he can always just almost kill with that stupid Harvest Golem. It's really annoying me, but I'm just going to drop the Corcoran Elite and go to the face with it. I think I'm probably more aggressive with going to the face than most people are. I think a lot of people play much more conservatively than I do when they trade whenever possible. I'm not really that way. I figure I'll take the risk. A lot of the time the opponent will just have to trade with you. Anytime I think that the opponent will have to trade with you if he doesn't have something, then I'm aggressive. Alright, so it takes part of his better weapon. His guy stays on the board, which is not really what I wanted, but hey. Now we'll see the power of the Silverhand Knight.
Squire, attend me. Ready, sir.
Probably he's gonna run his 1-1 into it and kill the 2-2 with his weapon. And that 2-1 that I had the opportunity to kill looked like he might be biting me in the ass. I may get him free with my Knife Juggler plus Chill and Yeti next turn though. Oh, and early last game I said there was no way for me to kill that stupid Stealth Worgen Infiltrator. There is a way. Knife Juggler. Good old Knife Juggler. That's not very reliable though. That beard makes me want to do a Knife Juggler cosplay just to get that well, the mustache really going. I could do it. I'd have to shave my head too to get those side things going on. And that eyebrow. What an epic eyebrow. That's enough no Knife Juggler fanboyism for now though. But you have to admit he's pretty awesome. Oh, this guy's gonna get pretty big, isn't he? That's a problem. Holy smokes. I might die. Things are looking grim. Well. The Boulder Fist Ogre I could play. I could even just slam his wolf and drop the Chill and Yeti. Which might be the play. But if Knife Juggler kills his 1-3, there's what, a 1 in 4 chance of epic value? You know, I just don't think I can take that risk of the Knife Juggler. I fear his wolf too much. Killing it unfortunately doesn't even make his stupid flesh-eating golem any weaker. Weaker it goes down 1 and then up 1. The cycle of life continues. Well, a bit awkward here. That 6-3, I can't. It's so big at this point, I can't even afford to hit it with that weapon, Fiery War Axe. If I hypothetically were to draw one. Is he going to weapon plus Harvest Golem my Yeti? It looks like that's what he's going to do. Oh no, he's got the 4-2. Hoy vey. Looks like I'm dead. Dead to a flesh-eating ghoul. It's kind of a strange thing to die to, but dead is dead, as they say. Well, I get the Warsong Commander, which is going to prolong my life just a little bit. So I play the Knife Juggler first, and now I hope for the 1 in 4 value. The value thing to land on this guy. Not landed on that guy. A bit unfortunate because I have to kill that guy. Well, I'm not dead yet, but I'm pretty near to it. Hanging on by a thread. See how he wants to kill my guy with the weapon and the 2-1, I assume. And there's the end of the Harvest Golem that I should have killed a long time ago. So I said I was a big greedier than most people. It's true, I am a big greedier than most people. A lot of the time, it's the wrong thing to do. I take my risks. At this point, my opponent's got 8 damage, which means I absolutely have to armor up, because this is what I said last time, when your opponent's got lethal on board, if you can stop that, you have to stop that. But even still, it looks like I can't stop lethal on the next turn, even if he doesn't do anything. Like anything extra other than whacking me a whole bunch. It's gonna go to the face. And I don't think I really have any taunt in my deck, do I? I could have picked up that Fen Creeper, but I chose not to. No, it looks like I am toast. I'll hit him and then end turn and say well played. Take him down to 12 just for the, I don't know, the honor of taking your opponent down as low as you can. It's entirely possible not killing that Harvest Gold may very well have cost me the game. It certainly hurt me. Whether or not I could have won is debatable. I really just didn't want to trade with though, because he could have just weapon powered my guy. I wanted to get more value out of my guy. 4 more damage is what I wanted. Sometimes you have to be greedy and go for that 4 extra damage. Sometimes it's 4 damage that you need to win the game. Sometimes trying to get it loses you the game though. Decisions like that are kind of why I like playing Hearthstone. And there's no, like, the thing about them is it's not like one way or the other is always right or always wrong. It's like a probability thing. You have to make the decision that's most correct most of the time, given the chances of it being one way or the other way versus the reward. Anyways, enough rambling. Let's coin into the Amani Berserker here, I guess. This is just what I did last game, isn't it? And I said, maybe I'll slam that guy. And then he said, no, I will backstab you, Berserker, and throw a wrench in your whole opening. We'll see if this guy can similarly throw a wrench into my opening with the backstab. It's just fuck. It's deja vu all over again. Well, I better do something different, because I remember last game did not end well for me. And his loot order follow-up play is pretty good as well. Not doing so hot this one. Hopefully I can come back in the mid-game with the power of the Chillwind Yeti, the Archer Commander. Oh, I do have one taunt guy, this Engine Shield Master. I guess I really needed to top deck him last game. I'm not sure if it would have been enough or not. Well, I guess my Warsong Commander is the only real option here, and I am going to Fiery War Axe on the 1/1, just because I'm afraid of him killing my my Warsong Commander. Warsong Commander can stay on this board, I could just run away with this game. But no, it looks like he's got the deadly poison. And Defias. Ouch. Well, I was going to play the Chillwind Yeti, but I think I may as well just drop the Engine Shield Master here. Well, yeah, well, I could also slam and play the Amani Berserker. It's not the best use of slam in the world, though. Yeah, I'm just gonna drop the Shield Master. He's gonna run his 2/1 and just weapon into it, obviously. So I'm still gonna be pretty behind. Deadly Poison got some pretty serious value for him. Well, let's see. The Yeti is probably the play, I guess. It's a bit awkward because I'm 5 mana and everything you can do takes 4 mana. The Yeti it is. Next turn I'll hopefully be able to start making some good plays. I've got Commander plus, you know, other options. Between the combinations of my 4-drop and my 2-drop, I can do a lot of different things. My life is going to get a bit low here if my opponent wants to go to the face, though. Reaching that point where my weapons won't really have the freedom you would want them to. It's going gonna sap my guy. Now I'm kind of wishing I played the Yeti when I played the Shield Master, and then I had my Shield Master in hand, because I'm in kind of desperate need of the, whatchamacallit, you know, the taunt. I need to play the Argent Commander, mainly just to remove his guys ASAP. I guess similarly, I could slam plus Weaponsmith. I might do that instead, actually. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll slam it and Weaponsmith it. I probably should have just slammed first, just to see what I draw. Another slam, eh? That would have changed anything? Not really. I wasn't gonna slam it twice. Not that slamtastic.
For the king.
He's probably gonna weapon my guy. I don't know. Just going in the face. I got no taunt. Pretty sure he's got lethal. Let me think. Well, yeah, looks like I'm just dead here. I will continue my honorable lower the opponent as much as possible. It's not very low in this case. Huh. Same opening 2 games in a row proved to be the death of me.
This guy's toast.
That's really unfortunate. These rogues, them and their backstabs. Well, if you ever doubted the power of backstab, you just thought kill me twice in a row. A card that costs no mana and lets you gain early game control, as it turns out, is a really good card. And that time I didn't even have any sketchy not killing the Harvest Golden decisions to make. The only somewhat sketchy thing I did was playing the taunt guy sooner rather than later. I guess in hindsight it would have made more sense. Usually you want to save your taunt for when your opponent has you low and he's trying to go for the throat. I guess I would have been better served by just playing the Yeti.
You asked for it.
2 axes. I don't want 2 axes. I don't want Silverhand Knight in the opening hand either. I want 2-drop minions. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh, the Abusive Sergeant. Well, he's probably just gonna die for nothing, but such is the life of the 1-drop against the mage occasionally. And this is why Abusive Sergeant is not the best 1-drop in the world. Don't hurt my 2-1. He's your friend. At least I got a coin. I'm not too upset about my 1-drop taking out my opponent's coin. So this is what I mentioned if I want to be greedy and play the War Axe or just armor up. I'm going to be greedy. I like being greedy. I'm going to regret it, I feel, this time. I really don't recommend this play. You should just armor up instead, for the love of God. You don't want to waste your fire to War Axe. This is like walking into the super value acidic ooze. It looks like I get away with it this time. And now we see the reward for my risk. The reward is he doesn't get to have a board for the next 2 turns. I eat his board and build out the Super Frothing Berserker, which doesn't die to Frost, whatever that freeze spell is. Frostbolt? It's not even a WoW spell, is it, though? I don't think mages have Frostbolt in WoW, do they? Oh yeah, they do. What am I talking about? God, I'm stupid. For some reason I thought Frostbolt wasn't a thing. Alright. Well, unfortunately, I've got no real play here, like at all. Wow. This is so awkward. I could waste Slam just to draw a card. I think I might actually end up just slamming to see if I draw a card, which is pretty much the worst possible use of Slam, just to see if you draw a card. And as it turns out, I don't. I guess in addition, it buffs my Frothing Berserker off one more. If I just used my weapon, he only would have been a 4 power instead he's a 5 power. The main reason I played Slam there, in case it wasn't obvious, was just to hope that I drew a 2-drop minion, because I much rather would have preferred playing a minion over just armoring up. Fortunately, I no longer have my weapon to kill this guy. And I used to have 2 slams, but now I only have 1 for some reason. I'm not exactly sure what happened with the other slam. Commanding Shout won't save my guy from his snake, unfortunately. Eat his little minion. In a reasonably okay spot. We'll see what happens post Flame Strike. That's the question of the mage matchup. You can be ahead before the Flame Strike. The real question is, can you continue to be ahead after the Flame Strike? And then when there's Flame Strike, well, that's just unfortunate for you. As much as I like Silverhand Knight as a 5-drop, he's probably the worst 5-drop there is against Flame Strike. Let's see. I'm just gonna slam this guy. Do you wanna slam? Take you to the jam.
To battle.
He doesn't have Flame Strike yet. He's 1 turn away from it still. If I get off a Stormwind Champion next turn, I'll be pretty resilient against Flame Strikes, because he survives the Flame Strike, and I'll be able to reestablish a really good board afterwards. Well, that guy's a little bit annoying. Because I would have to lose a minion to trade with it. There's no real way for me to kill that without losing something, is there? Guess it's gotta be the Stormwind Champion. It's a bit awkward trading with this guy because it's a pretty favorable trade for my opponent, but whatever. Now he'd be crazy to Flame Strike. He's gonna Fire Blast my 6/1 and do something else. Excuse me. This is the point in the game where I'd really like to see my Warsong Commander. She would be pretty awesome. Fortunately, that guy's a 6. Fuck, I've got no way to trade with that thing properly. I can do 5 damage to it with either of these 4-power charge guys. If I drew the Warsong Commander like I wanted, then the Warsong Commander plus the Silverhand Knight would trade with it. I'm just gonna go to the face here. If he wants to eat one of my little guys instead of my Stormwind Commander, he's more than welcome to. Keeping the Ventrico Mercenary on the board is awkward for him because it'll limit his ability to play other things, right? I've got a lot of damage showing up here. We'll see if he's got Flame Strike. Oh, he's going to the face. Face plus Flame Strike? What's he got? Blizzard! Okay, okay. Oh, wow. Very interesting. I guess I forgot that freeze was a thing. That was not the brightest on my part. Let's see if he's got even more freeze. Flame Strike. Flame Strike. Shiza. The only good news is my guy can eat his Ventrico. Alright, so the mage has got slight card advantage, but I've got tempo and that I get to establish my board before he gets to try and establish his board. The only sad news is that all three of these cards combined cost too much mana. But I guess it's gonna be the Knife Juggler, Silverhand Knight, Armor Up. See if he's got more AoE stuff. If he's got more AoE stuff, he could easily come back and win this. If he doesn't, he's in a pretty poor spot. If I draw my weapons, I may be able to finish with my weapons as well. I got quite a few weapons in here. Polymorph's not gonna help you that much. I assume he's got a spell deal with the Knife Juggler. Okay, he's got Taunt for the Knife Juggler. Alright. Well, I got a weapon. Like I said, I've got a bunch of weapons. And that's lethal. With the sheep. There's nothing better than killing a mage with a sheep. I fleeced him, probably was worth. It was a close one though. If the mage had some more freeze, he could have come back. Mage control's pretty hard to deal with. My continued risk-taking, not trading, and not trading my Stormwind champion for the Venture Co. almost bit me in the ass. It could have. It's such an awkward trade to make, though. Do you really want to trade your Stormwind champion for his Venture Co. mercenary? I sure as hell don't want to make that trade. One of them's got a minion that buffs your board, and the other one's got an ability that kind of fucks him over and makes him unable to commit more minions to the board. Well, I guess against a mage, it's obvious that they probably don't plan on playing more minions. They plan on just fucking you in the ass with spells. Bastards. Hey, there's the Warsong Commander that I was looking. He was MI last game. Let's go throw all these away except the axe. The Earthen Ring Farseer was an arguable, could have capped it, but. Alright, the Knife Juggler. Knife Juggler versus Blood Imp. Well, we'll see if my opponent can kill a Knife Juggler. If he can't kill a Knife Juggler, then he may be in for a spot of trouble. And if he does, then I've got no real way to kill that Blood Imp for the rest of the game. Oof. Well, this is kind of the defining moment of the game right here. If this kills the Blood Imp, I think I'll probably win, and if it doesn't, I'll probably lose. But it only has 1 in 3 chance of killing the Blood Imp, so come on, RNG. RNG.
Sorry that happened.
I'm sorry. Sometimes people think that it's an asshole thing to say sorry, but I really am sorry. I mean, it was a 1 in 3 chance. It's saying, like, I got lucky. I acknowledge the fact that I lucked out. Sometimes this game is a game of luck. And today, luck was on my side. Seriously though, fuck Blood Imps. That card annoys me so much. Alrighty. That stupid golem can eat my stupid panther. Not a lot I can do about that. I'm just gonna go to the face. With stuff. Stuff to the face. I've got the Warsong Commander threatening to make my board very chargy. Oh, the life tap. I'm not sure he can get away with life taps against me. Okay, so he's gonna eat the slightly better guy. Whatever. I don't really care. Chargy board? Yeah, I guess I'll go with the chargy board.
It's time for a little blood.
Might as well eat the guys. Battle Cry. The only thing I'm not too sure about is if I want to trade with the damaged golem. If I don't, then he may very well be able to easily kill my Warsong Commander. And my Warsong Commander is worth so much to me that I am going to make this trade. I normally abhor trades like that, but I want to keep my Warsong Commander alive. He is worth so much to me. And there's just too many ways that he could have used that Harvest Golem plus just about anything else to kill my Warsong Commander. And to me that was unacceptable. Sometimes trading isn't about who loses the more valuable thing, it's about who gets to protect their other stuff. That's what I wanted. I wanted to protect my other stuff. Well, here, I think I'm not going to play the 6th job. I'm going to play the Frothing Berserker. I'm going to run this guy in. I'm going to run this guy in. Yes. Well, no, yeah, that's reasonable. And you can see the power of the Warsong Commander. As long as he stays on the board, it's pretty much impossible for your opponent to reestablish board control. They just can't do it. As the minions showing up out of my hand with charge. Well, let's see. The Boulder Fist Ogre is pretty tempting. Can I have lethal in any way, shape, or form is the bigger question, though. I don't think I see lethal. Can do a lot, but not lethal. I think I'm one short or something stupid. If I play this guy and this guy, and what? Use the weapon on that guy, then one minion.
What now?
Is that lethal? Hold on now. One minion gets hurt, 2 minions, 3 minions, 4 minions. Oh, that's lethal, isn't it? So I knock the shield off with the weapon. And then a whole bunch of minions take damage, which buffs my Berserker up to absurd levels. And this is why the Berserker is a good card. Bam! Lethal. For a while I thought I just had to play the Boulder Fist Ogre and use him to take the thing out. Then I realized that I had lethal if I knocked the Divine Shield off with the weapon. See, I thought I was one short because I had to knock the Divine Shield off with a minion. But then I realized the weapon, that's the one more minion damage I needed. Yeah, so my opponent, his biggest problem there was he used his Warlock Hero Power. Now, a lot of people love the Warlock Hero Power, and it's not bad, but you really have to be careful. Like if you've got nothing better to do early game, then I guess you can use it, but a lot of decks using your hero power early on just ensures that you're not going to win the game. You just can't get away with it, unless you've got like the AoE sweepers and stuff. You have to be committing to the board. If you got board sweepers, then you can kind of get away with it. But without them, you're just giving up board control, and you're never to get it back, and you're gonna die. I'm not saying that's a bad hero power, though. It's still a very good hero power, mainly just for in the later game, when things just are both really even. When you both just trade, and you both go into top deck mode, all of a sudden you're top decking twice, which means you're pretty much guaranteed to win. Oh, that's a very nice 2 draws. Let's see if the Frothing Berserker can get up to 10 power again. That was pretty ridiculous, eh? 10 power Frothing Berserker. He's a pretty good card. The whole pumping himself up thing's not that relevant. The hugely relevant thing is that he's got 4 health. That's a lot of health for a 3 drop. He's very similar to the Golem, the ghoul, the scavenging ghoul, the 2/3 for 3 that gains 1 attack whenever a minion dies. He's just straight up strictly better than that card though, isn't he? Because he's whenever he takes damage, and minions will take damage without dying sometimes, and he's got 1 more health. He is strictly better. But obviously he's a class specific card, and he's a rare, and the other one's a non-class specific neutral.
Where shall I strike?
WTF, mate? Well, he's going to Value Town on me with that bad boy. I would have preferred to play the Frothing Berserker here, but I need to play the 4-drop, and hopefully both my minions combined. I might actually just run the 2/3 into him now, because I'm going to do it next turn. Yeah, I just have to do it now, don't I? Usually I don't like running minions into taunt guys, but I was going to have to do it next turn, so and just in case that he had some way to kill him to prevent me from doing it next turn, I had to do it this turn. So it wasn't like the end of the world play. We kind of 2 for 2 there. The main thing that did for him was it really delayed the game into the late game, where he probably has an advantage over me. Bit awkward here.
It's time for a little blood.
If I attack him, then he finishes me off with his hero power and eats one of my guys on his turn. If I don't attack him, then he just doesn't necessarily have to use his hero power, and I have to attack. I guess I just have to attack him, don't I? Ah, my Frothing Berserker. He was going to get up to 10 attack. Oh, is he hitting this guy? Does that mean he's got a Starfall in hand? Or did I just miss? Yeah, it looked like he was going to hit the guy on the right, but no. Well, I was going to drop the Boulder Fist Ogre, but the Abusive Sergeant makes me reevaluate. I turn. Hopefully this Frothing Berserker can get up to 10 power. So the game's not going terribly, but late game, I really fear the late game huge Druid minions. Depending on how many of them he's got, this might be a really hard game for me to win.
Ready, sir.
Well, the Fire War Axe is somewhat slightly kind of tempting-ish, but not gonna do it. Or will I? This would be the only thing I could do. Hypothetically, I could War Axe into this guy, but I don't know, it's tempting in its own special way. But I'm not gonna do it. What's really tempting is to not go for the trade, just go for the 8 damage to the face. But then if he's got any way to give his guy +1/+1, I regret it a ton. 10! He got to 10! But we'll see if he gets to 10 and hits the enemy hero. So the old guy actually got to 10 and hit the enemy hero. That was what was truly impressive. Looks like this guy will not get to hit the enemy hero. He got to 10 though. Technically 11, I guess. Alright, as long as I can stay in board control, which my Fiery War Axe should help me achieve that goal. I've got some big minions of my own here. I might out big minion a druid, which is not something that you see that often. They normally got you beat in the big minion department. But they themselves are not very good at dealing with big minions, are they? The removal is more AoE or smaller damage kind of stuff.
Don't mess with Tusk.
Let's see. Well, I'm obviously playing everything.
Time for a little blood.
It's more than anything a question of how am I going to kill his guy. If I do it with Storm and Champion, that leaves him at 1 health. If I do it with the other guy, that leaves the other guy at 3 health. Even though it's overkilling another damage, I would much rather have the other guy be the one to take the damage. Do I really want to kill a 1-1? I'm not that threatened by the 1-1. I feel that I want to get the damage in. The big old taunt guy appears. Unfortunately, he really is big, and I can't kill him with 1 guy. But I can kill him with 2 guys, but I don't have... Fuck it, I don't have lethal, do I? That's a pain in the ass.
Squire, attend me.
Ready, sir.
So which of my 2 guys are least valuable? Blarg, I say. I guess it's these 2, isn't it? This guy trades with that guy, and this guy was the face. Now this guy's in Starfall range, or not Starfall, but Starfire, but it looks like I got this one. Well, I've been doing pretty well ever since I lost my first 2 games, but you can only stay on death's door for so long. I probably got up to 5, but we'll see if I can get up to where I belong, which is 7. My 2 losses early kind of sucked, didn't they? Rogues backstabbing me. They were close games. One of them I might have been able to win. My win against the Warlock was pretty lucky, admittedly. Alright. I'm not too thrilled about any of these cards other than the Fire War Axe. They're not bad, but I just want to make sure I've got the earlier curve. And I don't, looks like I'm not going to get it. Warsong Commander is not what I was looking for. The Silverhand Knight, it's one of the cards I mulliganed. And Enrage is probably one of the worst, not so good cards in my draft overall. So he got a 1-drop? He was kind of mousing over something. No. Not going to coin into the Fire War Axe, that would just be insanity. So, I guess it's got to be the Fairy Dragon, which you can expect will just be Fire War Axe. Well, no, maybe not, because he didn't play the Fire War Axe, but he may not have for fear of the risk, and he always could have top decked it. But I'm inclined to think he does not have the Fire War Axe, which is good. Well, he's got to have something. I'm thinking he's got to cleave. But I'm just going to drop the Warsong Commander, which survives cleave. But I'm really thinking a cleave is about to hit my face, because he's got to have something. What's he got? Storm and Knight. Okay, that trades and lives. You got me. Ooh, but I can trade and live and stuff myself. Now hopefully this goes to the face, the Knife Juggler. To the face, to the face, to the face. Didn't get my wish. Not hugely important. Oh, I guess I could have used Inner Rage to kill this guy, but then my guy wouldn't have berserked. And half the point of that whole play was berserked my guy. The cleave! Alright, I can deal with that. All minions cost 1 more. I'm not too sure what I think about that. I think it looks like it's going to be a Fiery War Axe into a Coined Yeti. Might even Inner Rage my Yeti. Think it's a good idea? I think it's a good idea. With that Warsong Commander still on the board, I'm repping quite a bit of potential damage. The Warsong Commander. She stays on the board, she wins you the game. Normally you don't play her turn 3. It's really hard to play her turn 3 and have her stay on the board. Your opponent has to kind of essentially have no early game plays, which really means just about anything would win you the game.
Truth is my shield.
And I'm pretty sure I've got lethal. Let me do the lethal check. This knocks the shield off. Then this kills it. Then that's 8. And this is 6 more. Sounds like lethal to me.
Ready, sir.
Goodbye shield. Goodbye minion. Goodbye moon. Or excuse me, warrior.
If you insist.
I'm not gonna give him a Wellblade. He's probably mad. I try not to give people Wellblades if the game went terribly for them because it might make them mad. If they give one to me, I'll give one back though. I think I'll take a break for now. Come back a bit later. Just worried about running out of hard drive space because I got too much downloaded stuff. Finish this one off a bit later. Happy with how it's gone so far. I will see you when I return.